It's exactly 10 after the R6 on the Mighty Metro FM. This is Sports That Amplified with Andile on the Mighty Metro. Thank you so much to the touchdown. They do it again next week, Monday to Friday, 3 to 6. Nothing anywhere on radio is equivalent to what Metro give you in that 6 to 6 slot. I mean, geez, you just need to lock it in. You can break the knob on the radio. It never needs to change until we come in and we give you our daily dose as well, the very last on a Friday. I'm not alone in the studio, of course. PM Konza, former Bafana, former Kaiser Chiefs, Golden Arrows, Maritzburg United, Bloemfontein Celtic, Free State Stars. Player is here with us, as well as... Why is it that players, when they only want to be known as former Kaiser Chiefs...
Yeah, but he kept saying, okay,
fine. So, Ngzotini, a former what?
Oh, yeah, so,
former Chiefs.
No. So I must choose one.
Yeah, choose one.
Okay, fine.
But choose a
former Free State Stars.
Yeah, but Mina, Free State Stars, young Sugan.
Oh, man. So that is Konza, who's played for every single team in the DSTV Premiership. You can imagine. And next to him is Nadim Lukele, the man everybody loves to hate. He's in the building as well. He's got his laptop in front of him, statistically working to make sure that he's on point when you do call him at 18:45. Polokwane will be joining us on the line as well. Today we'll finally have that conversation. What is or what makes a big team? It's 13 after the R6 on the Mighty Metro FM. Welcome to all of those watching us on Facebook right now. Hope you're enjoying it. We've dressed very warmly. As you can see, it's rather cold outside. And, of course, on Twitter as well as on YouTube a little bit later on, you can catch it on TikTok as well. We put the videos out there. Now, what you heard when we kicked off right at the beginning was a conversation we had yesterday with Polokwane City's COO, Dinsi Dema, as well as the coach, Duncan Lechesa, on a conversation we had on Wednesday with Makola when he says that the club let him go. He didn't understand why. They offered him a contract which was going to be extended for 2 years with an option. And the contract that was offered to him did not have figures as to how much he's going to be getting paid. He therefore asked, can I see the chairman? And apparently, that didn't happen. Instead, they told him, pack your bags and go, hit the road. Paul, that's a conversation we're going to be having. But also the big one, what maketh a big team? This conversation was sparked because, yes, Kaiser Chiefs haven't won a trophy in a long time. Yes, Manchester United, my beloved, haven't won a trophy in a long time. Yes, Moroka Swallows, which is back as Moroka Swallows now, haven't done well in a very long time. Does this mean that those once giants of football in terms of collecting awards instead of collecting silverware are no longer the big guns? Sundowns has been winning. Does this mean they're a big team now? SuperSport United at that time when they were winning league after league after league, and they've continuously won every other season. Does this make them a big team now? What makes a big team? Is it the fans that pack the stadium, the jerseys that are sold, the results on the field? I'd love to have that conversation with you. It's going to be on the back end of all the chats we're going to have. But firstly, let me greet my guest. Let me start in Durban. The man who was wearing Bafana tracksuit and Pilani.
Good evening, Andile. Good evening to the Johnson studio, and good evening to everybody listening to this number one sports show in South Africa.
We missed you last week, man. Ngizwa kuthiwa le tracksuit oyinike isafa uyiframile.
Ne formal shoe.
Baby, I know they call it that. It's like a trophy cabinet. Come on.
Polokwane is going to be with us for the duration of this conversation. Nadim Lukele is also here. Nadim?
Yeah, Andile.
You well?
Good. I'm good. And you?
Good, man. Gents, let's start here.
Yeah.
The FIFA World Cup has started. The female Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
It started with a great opener, the two home teams, Australia and New Zealand winning. Nigeria was the first of the African teams to take the field. Pro, I'm not sure how abreast you are of this, but I know you love your football, and I'm throwing this as a curveball to you guys. We're showing those games every single day. There's a game on the SABC Sport platform on SABC3. What do you make of the World Cup so far?
Well, but Andile, what I can tell you with the standard of football has improved a lot. As you know, we've been doing a lot of research on the teams, but the most fascinating one has been the injuries that the players have been sustaining. And we've been also focusing on that to find out why are these players suffering, especially the ACL. But football-wise, I've been impressed with the quality of play. And obviously, it seemed like in New Zealand, obviously they are hosts, but nobody expected them to win their first game because they had a poor preparation towards the tournament. But for me, I'm expecting a lot, and I'm expecting a lot of energy, and I'm expecting a lot of shocks. But football-wise, I think there's been a lot of improvement.
I think for me, Andile, if you watch New Zealand, you can see the preparation didn't just start now. It started 4 years ago. Previous World Cup. So also being the host, you are under pressure. You need to do well. They are under pressure to do well. Google tournament. But my impressive team has been Nigeria in their first game today against Canada. I thought they show resilience. They show stability. You can see the experience that Nigeria brings into playing in the World Cup. But remember, when we talk experience, we talk structure. You could see in Nigeria, they're going to the game without fear. That is why you see they performed. One is a red card and a penalty against, but they got an important point today.
They did get an important point against a very strong Canadian team who are Olympic champions, ranked 7th in the world at the moment. Yeah. They've got the 40-year-old Sinclair who captains the team. She has outscored even Ronaldo at international level. She wasn't able to score the penalty in that game there, and it kept 0-0. It was a game that we were showing, of course, on the SABC platform.
Yeah, we're still going to see the best teams that are going to be in the final. That I'm talking about, your USA and Germany, those are the teams, or England, those are the team are favorites to win the tournament. But so far, so good. Interesting part, there's no team, in all the 5 matches, not even a single board team to score. So it's been 1 or 0-0, or one scorer. It just shows that in the women's team, they still need, the standard is not the same, basically. When you look at Spain playing Costa Rica, you just know that the gap is just a bit too much. Costa Rica, the best thing that they were going to do is to defend, not even seeing as goal them scoring. So it's one of those things where there are other teams that are very good, but others are not there.
18 after the hour 6. As you know, on a Friday, we look at the week as it was. We pick some of the things that happened and we discuss them in a little bit more detail. I want to start with Sundowns. Here's a team we haven't had a reason to speak about in a long time, which is Sundowns, of course. It was a very odd statement that Sundowns took out during the week on Cassius Mailula and him leaving, potentially going to North America, etc., etc. It was a very odd statement. I didn't quite understand what that statement was about, but he's going to be leaving. He's going to be going to North America. Have a listen to what Hugo Bruce has had to say about Mailula going to Europe.
Honestly, I don't think he's ready for Europe now. Mailula is doing very good, but it's his first season. Telling now already that he's ready to go to Europe. And I should advise him to stay 1 year more in Sundowns, playing Champions League again. It will be good for his development. Don't underestimate going to Europe. Certainly for a striker, it's very difficult. So again, he has the potential, but don't take that decision too soon. And I know everyone, Mailula, be careful with that.
That was Hugo Bruce, the coach of Bafana Bafana. Let me go to the Sundawana in the room. Cassius Mailula, Sundowns releasing a statement that I didn't quite understand, but he's going to be going to North America. The team is now being revealed. Hugo Bruce feels he's not ready for Europe even, so he should stay another season, at least play more Champions League football. What do you think?
Firstly, congratulations to Cassius Mailula for securing the move to the MLS. Congratulations to Sundowns for releasing the youngster and letting him explore new avenues and the new environment. Obviously, we have seen what it has done for Njabulo Blom and what it has done for Ubongo Hlongwane, and we are hoping that Cassius Mailula will develop as well. And I listened to an interview that was done by another player from the country that is going to the MLS, Dzvukamanja, where he mentioned that they are using the MLS as a gateway to Europe. So they are hoping that they can develop their game there and learn a lot of tricks of the trade, and then be scouted possibly by the European teams. They feel that is the right destination for them, purely because they feel that there are not enough scouts from Europe that are coming to South Africa to pick players like them. So for me, I think this is a perfect opportunity for Mailula. He can go there for 2 years, 3 years. If his game improves, if it develops better, who knows, he might be in Europe by this time, maybe in 2 years' time.
That soundbite came, of course, from March, but it's still worthy because when you look at how much football Mailula played since March up until now, it was a bit of a downward spiral at Sundowns. He wasn't playing as much, so I think still a point to it. 21 after the hour 6. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get the views of everyone else. I can't believe it's already 24 after the hour 6. Let's catch up on it and get it going. Move on to straight to the next one there, Nadim. Dumisani Zuma joins Moroka Swallows and reunites with Steve Komphela.
It's a strange move because Dumisani Zuma is another alcoholic. We know him at Kaizer Chiefs where he was.
No, I don't know about that.
No, he is.
I don't know about that.
What do you mean? Because the Chiefs, they've released statements. One, he was caught on the 10th November 2001 drinking and driving, and there were so many stories where Chiefs even sent him to rehab. Different disciplinary hearing at Kaizer Chiefs where he was sent.
Okay, let's say he's had struggles.
And Amazulu was the same thing, was released.
Let's say he's had struggles with alcohol, perhaps.
Yes.
Okay, I'm listening.
But if you are not surviving rehab, what does it mean? It means you're an alcoholic.
I think that's a bit harsh. It's
not a harsh, it's a fact. We need to support players to a point where, I mean, if they do well, like we've got players that are highly disciplined, like Pesita, good role model, we need to congratulate them. Those ones who are bad role models, we need to actually make it a point that players, they don't make it normally, that you can just be a drunkard and think we'll speak good things about
Once
you.
Again, very harsh words. I think he's a young man that is struggling with certain things in his life. I hear you, but talk to me about him.
No, I'm just telling you that his talent, we don't doubt him from Celtic. That's why he was signed by Kaizer Chiefs. They gave him a 3-year contract. That's why Kaizer Chiefs tried their best, different levels, to assist him actually to make his career be that good.
So you think his off the field is overshadowing what he can do, the talent he's got in the field? He's a
promising player. That's why from Celtic, I remember him. Then went to Kaizer Chiefs, to higher reputation from Celtic. Then went to Amazulu. Amazulu released him. Remember they're signing on a that's like, it was released last season at Kaizer Chiefs, then went to Amazulu. Amazulu released him again because of those kind of not doing well on the pitch. So I don't know if Swallows wants to be sort of like Steve Komphela. I know Steve Komphela is a father figure to the guys. Maybe can have that talk and assist them.
And they know each other, the two.
I don't know if Steve Komphela is going to try and assist them, is going to actually focus on trying to make the team survive relegation, because as we stand, Swallows are fighting relegation because that's how they are. Then up until
as we stand now,
of course, they've been fighting relegation since they were promoted. They're a relegation team. They're not a top 8 team. It's not a team that you can say it's a team that's fighting to win the league. It's not there to
so you're not even going to give them a chance to start the season.
To do what?
To start the season and prove that new coach, a couple of new players.
Look at the kind of players they're signing. They're signing Palane, was released by Royal AM. They're signing him, Andile again. We spoke about him last week. And they're also signing Zuma. Again, his behavior, I mean, in the highway, drink and drive. It's even a crime in South Africa to drink and drive. You are not even supposed to touch alcohol and be...
Nkwanza, you look like you agree with Nadim.
Yeah, I do, in a sense that if you look at Dumisani Zuma, now myself, Mankpegi career, Dumisani Zuma is 28. All tune in the last 3 years. Chiefs, he hasn't played enough. And obviously spoke disciplinary record, and then in the Amazulu 19 matches, 1 goal. Amastetzwake doesn't reflect talented and talent now Andile, but also at 28 you are at a stage where now decision making should be better, because sometimes also in a culture like so selling a 5 years with a value shop. So for me, Uzuma is lucky to get this contract. He needs to use it to his utmost best, because after that, Mamela's there too.
Pro.
You know the sad thing with Andile, I spoke to one of the players while I was in the Bafana camp, and he told me that it's so unfortunate that he reads about him being injury prone, but he has only been injured twice throughout his career, and he doesn't know about all these things that people say about him being injury prone. So I don't know whether Nadim caught him drunk or what, and it took to
no, the police caught him drunk.
To call Dumisani an alcoholic, I think that's a half statement.
No, it's not. The police.
Okay, it's Pro's turn.
No.
It's Pro's turn. It's Pro's turn. Yeah. Let Pro talk. Talk, Pro.
But for me, it's unfortunate that we at times we exaggerate things that we don't have the true facts of the story. But whatever that we know and whatever that we may believe, I strongly believe that talent-wise, Dumisani Zuma is still a good player. He still has a lot to offer at Swallows, and I think that he's got a perfect club that will that has less pressure, that will give him every support that he needs on the field so that he can succeed as a football player. But Ogunye, I don't think that is for me to comment on, because I don't have any facts on them.
All right, thank you so much. That is the story, of course, on Dimsani Zuma joining Moroka Swallows Football Club and reuniting with Steve Kompela. Let's move on to Orlando Pirates now. Orlando Pirates have had a relatively good time in Spain. They came back unbeaten, but also they've lost Dzvukamanja.
Yeah.
Those are the two big Pirates things. Let's start. Pro, I'm going to come back to you. Let's start with Pirates losing Dzvukamanja.
Yeah, no, that's the guy that's got a lot of crucial goals for Orlando Pirates, especially with his head. And he's a quality player, and I think from a Pirates perspective, and losing him to SuperSport United, I think it gives SuperSport United a shot now to say they can challenge Mailula Sundowns next season. Because we must not lose focus in whatever that we discussed, that everybody needs to challenge Mailula Sundowns. We can't have a team that finishes the league with seven games to spare, and they open a gap of 16 to 20 points. For me, it's a good signing for SuperSport United. I know that Coach Kevin Hunt is going to utilize him effectively, and he's going to score a lot of goals, believe me. Together with Bradley Cropler up front, I think SuperSport United, and they've got also Ikadaro on loan from Sundowns. I think up front, SuperSport United are making a serious statement.
Do you agree, Mkwanza?
Yeah, I do. Is reuniting with Kevin Hunt, coach, vets. But also, for me, Paris needs to find the Dzvukamanja's replacement as soon as possible, because there's a Champions League in it. But if you pay Dzvukamanja, functional striker for Pirates in the last 15 matches of the league, going to the final. But again, I mean, Andile, I'll tell you just a short story. In the final in the bank, you remember we had a studio on side, you remember? Mm-hmm. I called him aside, and if anyone wanted to take a picture with him, I said, how? Agafuni. So, because we understand that we respect them offense like that. So, the reason I'm using that story is because I see Dzvukamanja that he was unhappy. He was just wanted to finish off a contract and because for me, a striker man is needed. He was unhappy with the environment or the situation and all that. That is why Dzvukamanja. I think environment where there's less pressure, but I get for nothing.
Less pressure? Nadim, you look at the amount of games he played last season. You look at everything that he went through. The Boo Boys at some point were on his back. Do you think it's the pressure thing that Mkwanza's talking about? Was he happy? Now he's moving on to SuperSport United. But also it's the lie that he told the Orlando Pirates. He wasn't straightforward about the fact that he wanted to move.
SuperSport United signed him from Orlando Pirates because he was an Orlando Pirates player. It's always the case. Players, they come to Pirates and struggle. Sometimes they feel the pressure is too much when the fans and when they are not performing well, as he was not in the first half of the season. Maybe the pressure of the fans, it get too much. He got a chance to join SuperSport United. Pirates sold him to SuperSport. That's it.
Welcome. I'm glad you joined us.
No, but
it's 32 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. Taking your calls on 086 000 2160, WhatsApp on 060 552 7303. What happened this week? Let's go into the big one now. It happened here on the show. We went through it together. We had Polokwane City here. We had Makola here. Firstly, for those that might have missed it, here it is. This is Makola telling his story about his contract with Polokwane City.
Andile, to be honest, I didn't really want to speak about what happened, what you spoke about there. But prior to me signing the short-term contract with Polokwane City, the discussion with me and the chairman was that should I help the team get promotion to the DSTV Premiership, then I have a 2-year contract waiting for me. And even 3 weeks into the preseason, because I started preseason with the team, 2 weeks into it, I was called into the office to say the chairman has offered you the 2-year contract that he promised, but it didn't have, any figures whatsoever. So I didn't want to sign a blank page.
I didn't want to sign a blank page that was offered to him. We did have the CEO, Dinsi Dima, who came onto the show, and this is what he had to say.
It was news to me yesterday when I listened to him for saying that I never gave him a contract.
But did you offer him a contract?
No, we didn't, because remember there's something that you said about the verbal agreement or the verbal contract that I don't know of, that we also promised you to give him a 2-year contract. I don't know where did that come from.
So you never ever offered him a contract? After the season ended, you guys knew very well that you're going to let him go. What if I say to you as well that it's not just Mpo, it's 2 players? What about Mhlongo? If he says the same same thing? Does that mean both of them are lying?
I don't want to go into Mchongo story, but because I'm here for as far as I know, we never gave him a contract after the season has ended.
Terribly sorry for the quality of sound there. Mkwanza? It was a big deal here. I mean, they're saying, no, we never even offered him a contract. I mean, Duncan Lechesa, the coach, even said, he wasn't a great player. He was hoping that he'd improve, but he didn't. There was a contradiction between the two. They hadn't obviously gotten their story right.
Andile, it's very sad. It's very sad. I'm a player, they go through a lot, especially if you look at the age, Makola 37. I know verbal agreement, is not a contract, but also, how do you sign it?
Of course it is.
Ganja.
A verbal agreement is a contract. Well, they prove not, but if it was made to you, it is a contract.
But they prove kanjani ngoba umuntu uyaphika manje nabo bayiphika bojoni yonke lento le. Uyayibona ukuthi ne-jive ngoba mase bayiphika kusho bazothi wena uyazikhulumela uzenzele ke ukuthi kune verbal agreement that we made. But our players, they go through a lot over this situation, and it's very sad that now Makola he played 8 games that about our 7, but I know he played 8. He came in against the Castrick. But again, for me, if they use in the last 8 matches, that means you've contributed to the team, because if he was not good enough, they were not gonna use him. So they used him in the last 8 matches because they wanted promotion. Somebody told you the promotion, he was part of the plans and the project going to the next season. So now they are jumping the ship because there's nothing that holds them against the situation. So it's very sad. Players go through hell, and it's just the things that we don't know, and this is the finances reveal.
Nadim?
Yeah, it's painful. I listened to the interview, and even the first one with Captain City. It's so painful what's happening to Makola. I wish he get a new team, because it's very clear that the chapter at Polokwane City is closed. You tried to get the truth from both coach Duncan Lechesa and the CEO or COO. They were not really honest with you. The way I felt it, I felt like they were trying to hide from something.
How?
I mean, the whole hour, I couldn't even take calls, but they were trying to. So we just wish Makola to get a team, because, I mean, we can't really speak about it. It's like tennis. Can never end. Yeah,
that's true. It is. It's a he said, she said situation. It's 36 after the hour 6. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the topic that we've been meaning to discuss, we're going to do that all the way till top of the hour. No, not top of the hour, till 18:45, when we can open your calls on everything else. The question is, what makes a big team? And we can use the South African context to say team or club, because somebody says, no, a club is something else, a team is something else. What makes a football institution? What makes them a big club, a big team, however it is that you want to phrase it? But what decides which these ones are big, these ones aren't? Here we go. It's a conversation that's been coming for a very long time. What maketh a big team, a big club? What determines whether it's big or not? And this conversation came because, continuously here, when we say, hey, but this team is a big team, you can't, or this team is a smaller team. What makes a big team? Why is one team big and the other not?
A big team, we define a rich history, 1. Number 2, it's a fan base. Number 3, it's a trophy cabinet success. Number 4, it's a culture and mentality. And I believe that, if we pay, favor, but because it's a big club.
Let's have those again. Number 1 is history.
Number 1 is a rich history.
Yeah.
Number 2 is a fan base.
Yeah.
Number 3 is a trophy cabinet success. 4 and 5, it's culture and mentality. That's a big club. Because among its mentality and culture, even if you remove a scaffold in a building, the building still needs to remain. So that is why.
So if I have a long history, because I've been here for 100 years, I've got a great fan base. I've got trophies, but all those trophies are from 20 years ago. I've not won anything in 20 years.
Yeah.
And then the culture remains the same. Am I still a big team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pro?
Some of the things that my legend is mentioning, I think they are pretty much subjective, but I do feel that the history definitely is number 1. And when you talk about history, we're not talking about existence, but we're talking about the contribution to whether to South African football or to local league football. We're talking about the trophies as well. We're talking about the fan base. And obviously, when you look in South African context, there's no doubt that Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates are the 2 biggest teams in the country. But when it comes to the league success and stuff, there's no doubt that Mamelodi Sundowns is the biggest team in the country. So for me, it depends which angle one wants to debate on. But I think trophies, they mean a lot than a lot of things. And when you look at Kaizer Chiefs, whether they play home or away, they will always dominate. So for me, it seems like Kaizer Chiefs is an example of a big team. You look at their brand as well throughout the continent, and you look at the Orlando Pirates brand throughout the continent, and you look at the Mamelodi Sundowns brand now football-wise. That's where the difference is, because Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, their brand exceed what they do on the field. But with Mamelodi Sundowns, it's what mostly they do on the field that makes them a well-recognized brand on the continent. But for me, when you talk about South African context, those three clubs will always come up as a big brand. But you also look at clubs like AmaZulu. Historically, they've contributed a lot in South African football. So you will never leave them out of the conversation of big teams. But unfortunately, the trophy side, they have not contributed much. So for me, I'll leave it at that, put Andile, and hopefully one will put it into better sense than me.
Yeah. I'm happy that we finally reached this, because Pilane had some ideas that Sundowns is a bigger team than Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates. I mean, by far, Kaizer Chiefs, they are the best team. They're the big team in South Africa. If you look at the success, the number of fans, the number of trophies, basically, they still have more trophies than any team. Not even no team can equal even the number of trophies they won, even half of it. So, and if you look at the number of supporters, they have a lot of supporters, even in terms of finances. Chiefs are not relying on some billionaires who came in and invested. You can go out tomorrow and say, I want to focus on tennis or swimming. Even if the owner of Kaizer Chiefs can say, I'm retiring, whoever's running it, the band, they can self-sustainable. They can have enough finances in terms of sponsorship. In terms of sponsorship, they can make money on their own. And their brand, the Jay-Z, it also makes money. They can fill stadiums. There are so many factors that just tells you that they are there. And Pirates, of course, they're not far from it. They're just behind them. But even facilities, the facilities at Naturena, I mean, they are nowhere anywhere in South Africa. It's only Kaizer Chiefs in football team that have that kind of facilities. Wherever they play, they're at home. That's how their fans, they're all over the country. Even if you can go to Namibia, my brother got married in Namibia. I mean, you'll see someone wearing a Kaizer Chiefs fan. Normal person in the street wearing a Kaizer Chiefs. That's how they are.
Now I'm shouting before Chiefs.
Please.
So basically, what you guys have said is in agreement with Mkonza to say rich history, a fan base, trophies, and culture and mentality of the team. Then, in these, if I say then, according to what you guys have told me here, Morocco Solos Football Club is a big team.
Yeah. No, it's not.
But I mean, they tick all the boxes.
No, they don't. One, the number of fans, they've got a few fans. Yeah. They have less trophies.
But they have trophies.
No, they have less trophies. The number of trophies.
How many trophies? Less than who?
SuperSport have more trophies than Morocco Solos.
Yeah. Okay.
SuperSport United, they don't. So you can't say Solos are not even near. They are old team. Yeah. They're old. Like they were formed long time.
Well, they've got the history.
No, they don't have the history. The history must come with success and supporters and brand awareness. Kaizer Chiefs, anyway, you see. I mean, even our guy here, Malcolm, is a Chiefs fan. There are so many. They are all over the people.
Even and then SuperSport. Why aren't they a big team? They've won the trophies. I mean, yes, they might not have a history as long as everybody else, but they've got a little bit of history. They don't have the strongest fan base, but they've got some fan base, and we know the culture of SuperSport.
They're not stable. I mean, they're from Pretoria, while they are based here in Johannesburg, just like Sundowns. They are next to Tembisa, where Clock Up. They don't even have any office in Pretoria. They have people in Johannesburg, but they say they're a Pretorian team. So also big teams, they also become stable. They become part of their base. That's where they are based. Manchester United offices are in Manchester. They can't.
Where are the London Pirates offices?
Then somewhere in Johannesburg. 15 hours.
Are they in Soweto?
15 minutes away from Soweto.
So they're not in Soweto?
Yeah, SuperSport. They're in Johannesburg.
Are they in Soweto?
They are not, but their stadium is home team is Soweto. They even train at Orlando Stadium.
But
they are using Soweto as their home. They train at Rand Stadium and also in Soweto.
They train at Rand Stadium.
Yes.
Is Rand Stadium in Soweto?
Or stone away from Soweto.
Is it in Soweto?
No, it's not. Okay. But Clock Up is not even near Pretoria. You are not used to play for Tembisa, you know.
Bengifuna ukuthi ubuze ngeSuperSport. I mean, reach history 0, fan base 0, success yama trophy only 12. My culture mentality khona ayikho.
Let's take your voice notes.
Senguphendulile njalo.
So reach history 0.
A big club is defined by a number of factors, but two essential ones. The first one is the number of supporters it has. Obviously, the bigger number of supporters, the bigger the club. The second critical factor is the number of trophies. The more trophies, obviously, the bigger. And the biggest trophies being obviously leagues and international competitions taking precedence. That will also determine the size of a club and how big it is. The other factors would obviously be things such as infrastructure, such as training facilities and so forth. But one looks at the South African context, certainly I think that all three big clubs in South Africa would qualify as a big club.
That is the voice of Jose Ferreira, actually. Thank you so much, Jose, for giving us a little bit on that. I think in agreement with what Mkonza had listed there, he lists pretty much the same things. We also went to Tanzania to get a journalist point of view on the same subject.
Hello, I'm Musa Kawambwa from Tanzania, a journalist and a fan of Sport Night Amplified with Andile. I think what makes a big club, there are so many things. Trophies, fan base, but there is also a financial stability and regular appearances in which you compete in a competition like CAF Champions League, CAF Confederation Cup. That can make you big, you know. For example, Mamelodi Sundowns is not older than Kaizer Chiefs, is not older than Orlando Pirates, but right now we can term Mamelodi Sundowns like a big team, like a big team in Africa because of their appearances in the CAF Champions League, the stages which they are reached, and of course, as I said, trophies and the financial stability. Yes, that's it. And here in Tanzania, we have Simba and Yanga as the big teams.
Thank you so much. There seems to be an agreement with most of you. Now we can start with the voice notes and then taking your calls immediately afterwards.
Greetings, Andile and the team. It is ludicrously shocking having to witness soccer player undergoing such callously stony-hearted treatment by the clubs. Both the coach and the CEO account regarding Mpo is a clear indication that there is no working synergy between them. They showed no appreciation, if not veneration, for one another, which impact detrimentally on the player. The player is cut apart the club to Premier Division only to be down by the club. There is overt lack of professionalism. The club is being run like a shanty town barber shop, and this served as an omen for imminent return to Motsepe League. Malroot to witness Mpahlele. Good evening.
Malroot, always on point.
Yes, Andile, this is Mike from Cape Town. Andile, Polokwane City mustn't players. Because I wonder why they're contradicting each other, the chairman and the coach. You see what they are doing, they are bringing case upon themselves. Sorry to say that. Because treating players like that, they will stay short in the Premier League. They will be relegated next season. They mustn't do that because what they are doing is they are damaging their own reputation. You can't do such a thing to a player quality like Makola, and he's a legend. We can talk he's a legend because he has been in football for so long. So they mustn't do that, please. They should sort out their things and don't treat players in such a way. This is Mike from Kraaifontein, Cape Town.
Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate it. Let's go to Sinong. Sinong is out in Rustenburg. Sinong, always a pleasure to have you. What of the topics that we've discussed would you love to be a part of? Sinong, hi.
I've already said enough about the big team. But for me, Chief League country, I mean, yesterday you were talking about you were wearing Kaizer Chiefs shirt, you felt it. I can tell you now, on behalf of Greater Rustenburg branch, Kaizer Chiefs, our WhatsApp was crashing, you see, because of that. Yes, you see. So for me, Chiefs League country on its own. Wherever you go, wherever, Chiefs League country, Chiefs is a big team.
Hi, Sinong, I hear you. He says it's a big team. It's the country. Kaizer Chiefs is a big team. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's go to David. David is out of Gurlin. David.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for taking my call. According to me, big teams have got a very, very, very strong background. Look at Manchester United. They can spend 100 years without winning a trophy, but you cannot match them on the fan base and their roots where they are based. For me to say SuperSport is one of the big teams, I think that's too much. And I also question the Sundowns description of a big team, because why? Sundowns, most of their games, they are using the Hosa come for free, and they don't have a decent fan base. Let's be honest. You can take a team like Chippa United. I think they are coming closer to almost what was Bloemfontein Celtic. When you talk of teams that have got roots in South Africa, I would definitely say the Chiefs and Pirates. That's it. Thank you.
Just Chiefs and Pirates. Sundowns, you can go draw it, he says. David, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Lunga is out in Roodeport. Lunga.
Good evening, Andile and the team.
Hey, man. Welcome.
I just want to comment on the Makola's issue.
Please.
Polokwane City, the coach and the CEO, they were there to represent the tournament. You know, they were there. They are on the payroll, man. They were just to do damage control. Even I had a call yesterday from my friend JJ, who is also part of our listenership to listen to the show. Like, we discussed about it, and like, you know, it's one of the things that causes mental health to our players. You know, like we always blame them. They perform like they're hot and cold. I think it's one of the issues that impacts them to be where they are mentally. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, honestly speaking, bengisafuna ukusho ukuthi kumele umphasele man aphasele lapho ukuthi asitele ukuthi khuyala like uyibeke kahle. And yeah, man, it's ayikho mnandi bafethu le ndaba yama-team ase-South Africa. Most of them, actually. I think professional teams in South Africa is Pirates, Chiefs and Sundowns, SuperSport, yeah, and Stellenbosch, yeah. So the rest, fuck on.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much there. Let's go to Tabo. Tabo is out Soweto. Tabo.
Maanza.
Hey, man. Talk to us.
Tikopela with that pro to a point of order.
Oh, my mates. Pro.
Rema South African. My brother, do you know the percentage of the breathalyzer that determines, or rather that suggests that somebody is found to be drinking and driving? See how many percentage?
I think you're addressing this to the wrong person.
It always happens. They always address me instead of the culprit. Bro, I'm in agreement with you.
Oh, is Tabo gone?
With
oh, Tabo, your line, man. Your line is not best. Nadeem is the person you're looking for.
Yes, Nadine is the person I'm looking for. And I'm saying a glass of wine between a kilometer apart and you get a roadblock declares you drunk and driving, just on the percentage of the breathalyzer. So we can't label the boy as a drunkard.
So you think...
You know? We should be helping the boy to redeem himself. 80% of the soccer players in any country are people that find themselves having a drinking spree at one time in their life, you know? So we cannot say that because he was arrested for drunken driving, he was completely out of his breath and he was drunk in that order that we can now give him a new title as a soccer player. And that's the order I just wanted to put out there, to say, let us not bash each other. Let us help these boys to study and to learn from the previous mistakes of the other players and not to fall for the same trap. But if he gets a new contract, let us be happy for the boy and encourage him to mend his way. Coaches have got the responsibility of making sure that these boys have got a way of life. And that's where we talk about, and I like what Umkonza would always say, you win the boys in the change room, you know, in the dressing room. That's where you win these boys. And it's fine.
Oh, Tabo, I have to let you go. That line not great. I'm going to give Nadeem an opportunity as well, very quickly. Nadeem?
There were 5 different incidents of Chiefs, him drunk. They were never going to...
I think it's the language. I think we can say that.
No, they were never going to send him to rehab over a one glass. Come on, let us be honest. The Chiefs is the big team. They've dealt with so many personalities. Like Jabupule, they helped him up until they released him because of alcohol. Junior Kanye, it's one of them. It's a problem that has been there. We can't say all of them, Junior Kanye and Jabupule, it's because of one glass. That's why they were released. Come on, guys. Let us be honest.
Sibongeleni.
Unjani ma-af?
Yazi, hlale ngumqemane.
Ngikhona number 4. Ngilalela izolo lana ukuthi angikwazanga ukungena. ngilalele uDuncan nobaba lo Polokwane City bedriblisha bekuvusa ngaphasi kwehlalo ngeke
Angidribleki ngunsimbe emuva.
Hayi kodwa ngibonile ukuthi uyakwazi ukumaka baba hayi wavimba it's unfair ngempela into abayenzayo Andile it's unfair but ke you can't control okwenzeka emaklabini as much as we will see some of their decisions ukuthi awekho right and uma ubabuyisela elokhuzeni emsakazweni ubabuza ngezinto abazenzayo still besakunikeza amanga so it doesn't help ngempela yes baba.
No, I appreciate you. Ngiyajabula ngoba ke you could read between the lines. Uzwile into ezishiwo singakhulunywanga.
Yeah because wena into osukubalandele yona ukuthi sizwe iqiniso if bezophinde still noma sebeke emoyeni baphinde bakutshele into engahlangani bebo babili hayi ukuthi bukhuluma noyedwa it's unfair to us as ama-football supporters and then I would like to urge ama-football supporters ase-KZN ukuthi kusasa ekuseni siyakhuphuka siyo le eClermont siyoseka usuthu ludlala ne-Royal AM ngo-11 ekuseni.
It's going to be a good game there. Thank you so much, Jasmine. I appreciate you. Dixon, you have exactly 30 seconds.
Hi, Andile.
You've got 30 seconds.
I want you to put this in your archives. I'm predicting the demise of Kaizer Chiefs 15 years from now. Kaizer Chiefs will be no longer.
Based on what?
There's too many balls in the crawl. Too many balls in the crawl, Andile.
Dixon, okay.
Dixon, we'll save
it. We'll put it in the archives.
Family only. So which are they?
I don't know what he's talking about. Pro Pilane, appreciate you. Mkonza, I don't know where the time went today. Nadim, appreciate you guys. We'll do it again next week, Friday. Hey, this Friday night show, maybe you'll see it on the road. We're going to get out of here. Pella. That's all.